to the Wake Man channel. If you haven't entered the surfboard giveaway yet, make sure to get over to that video and get yourself entered. I'll put a link right above me, I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll put a link at the end of this video. I'm more than 2/3 of the way to 1,000 subscribers, so somebody's about to win a surfboard. Okay, so this video is going to be the 5th episode in my trick tip series, and my trick tip series is less of a tutorial series where specific steps are provided from beginning to end on what you should work on to build yourself up to nailing a specific trick for the first time. My trick tip videos are more focused on providing you those big tips that help me break through that barrier of trying a new trick, but all of a sudden once I figured out these tips, I nailed the trick pretty quickly after that. And in this video, I'm going to provide you with my top 2 tips for overcoming one of the biggest barriers I believe there is when learning new tricks for the first time wakeboarding. And that barrier is fear. When I'm trying to teach somebody how to learn a new wakeboarding trick or maneuver for the first time, typically I'll say 50% of the trick is overcoming the fear and basically just going for it. And I've dealt with that a lot myself. I can tell you that when I was working on my first invert, which was a heel side back roll, a lot of what I dealt with was committing to the trick instead of launching off the wake and then just hucking it. Once you commit and actually start tracking your landing and all those different things involved in a specific trick and kind of get over that fear, usually you get the trick pretty quickly after that. So my first top tip is slow the boat down. Now, line tension plays a big factor in a lot of tricks. But for the most part, if you're working on a basic trick, and I don't mean an easy trick when I say basic trick. What I mean by a basic trick is that it's not going to be a combo. There's not going to be grabs with a spin. There's not going to be a flip with a spin. Nothing that's going to be extra complex. More like a basic invert or a basic spin. Those types of tricks. With those types of tricks, to get it for your first time, you can definitely slow down the boat. And you know, a typical pro wakeboarder wakeboards at speeds somewhere between 23 miles per hour and 26 miles per hour. Now, whenever you take a spill going that speed, it's going to hurt more than going 18 miles per hour, I promise you. So what I've done on many tricks for nailing my first inverts or nailing my first spins for the first time is I'll slow the boat down to 18 or 19 miles per hour. And you actually get a little bit bigger wake. You just lose line tension. You end up sinking down in the water a little bit more as opposed to riding on the top of the water. But you don't necessarily need those things, and this is how I've overcome the fear of wrecking, because once I wreck one time at 18 miles per hour and realize, man, that was nothing compared to wrecking at 22 miles per hour, then it's on. I'm trying the trick and I'm committing to it. So that's my first tip. And I've got a clip here I'll show you where I got my back roll for the first time. You can see that because I'm going slower, 18 miles per hour behind a 23 LSV in this situation, I was able to get the wake closer together, so I don't have to get as much air, I don't have to get as much speed, and if I wreck on the landing, it's not going to hurt bad. You can see that that really helped me to get that trick for the first time. Along with slowing down the boat, basically my second top tip, which goes right along with the first top tip, is you got to shorten your rope. You can't slow down the boat and not shorten your rope, otherwise you're going to be way back in the whitewash where you need to be up where it's clean and close together. So you want to shorten your rope to match where the clean part of the wake is. In fact, you have some room. You probably will have about 10 feet of adjustment length when you slow down the boat. for where the clean wake is. And what I suggest is probably somewhere in the middle of that. You want it to be close enough together to where it doesn't take much effort. You don't have to get a bunch of air, and basically less chances of wrecking and hurting yourself. I have some more clips to show you. One of them is when I was working on my first 360. Again, you can see that the wake is pretty close together and not jumping very high, but I did nail my first 360 this way. Another one is my first toe side back roll. So you can see that when I get my back roll for the first time, I'm not even necessarily getting wake to wake, but because I'm not getting a ton of air, I'm not slamming down so hard, it just helped me to get over that barrier of that fear. Every time I've gotten a new trick while I have the boat slowed down and the rope shortened, I've been able to then go my normal speed, which my normal speed is right under 22. I think it's like 21.8, and my normal rope length. And then I start getting that trick at my normal speed and normal rope length because I've gotten over that fear, or at least most of that fear. Now I have some clips I'll show you where I compare running my boat at a slower speed and shorter rope length to my normal speed and rope length, and you should be able to tell the difference. Now if you're trying to add more rotations to a spin, let's say you're going for a 540, you're going for a 720, or more, or you want to add a spin to your flip, or you want to add grabs to your spins or flips, those types of tricks, whenever it comes to a combination, I don't necessarily suggest you try those at a slower speed and a shorter rope length, because a lot of times you need more air for those combinations or more complex tricks. This would typically only be applied to those basic tricks where you're not doing a combination, or it's not an overly complex trick. Alright, so I hope those tips help you to get your next trick and many tricks beyond that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please leave comments below if you have ideas on other tricks you want me to do videos on, or if you just want to provide extra tips for people watching this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.